I tell you something. I need to remember to bring my fucking camera windshield suction cup for when we go on trips. Putting the tripod just on the floor of the passenger seat. Not so convinced that's the best way to do it. But today was sweet. Went to the Olympia press conference for the first time, and really any fucking bodybuilding press conference. Everybody was there was, I'd say, a healthy amount of smack, right? A nice little chuckle when somebody asked Chris, "So Chris, do you think anybody on this stage can beat you?" Before he could say anything, everybody was laughing. So that's a very good situation or a very good example of, you know, more pressure turning into a better performance. If I had to make a guess, well, you never know. How about that? Well, let's not get too specific. You never know, but we will see in the coming days. So rather than focus on anybody else's bodybuilding journey, let's get back in relation to my own. What's the plan for tonight's lift? It's back. Classic kind of fucking back day. Pull downs, rows, pullovers, and everything else in between. We're headed to going to Fit Life. They kind of shut it down. There may or may not be a certain Mr. Cutler in this gym. But, everybody's kind of running around all fucking weekend, seeing everybody, hearing whatever else, so I guess we'll just have to see. But that'd be fucking cool. We've run into each other a couple times at the Arnold going back and forth between stuff. That's fun. But I'm not joking. I said this in the last workout, right on the, before I actually started. There is something to seeing all these guys who you only see on your fucking phone and then actually running into them in person. So if you've never been to the Arnold before, or been to the an Olympia Expo, or you just, I guess, which other ones are there? The LA Expo. Oh crap! What's the one in Germany? I forget the name. Oh, FIBO. Yeah, if you've never been to any of those, and you're interested in lifting, that would be worth a trip. That would be fucking worth a trip. But today's only Thursday. None of this stuff has even really begun. So even though this is more like Olympia week before we actually get into that. But weight wise, I don't know. I don't have I didn't bring a scale with me. I'm not that crazy about it. But right now I'm still probably in the depleting phase of things. So I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if one of my morning weights was just a 259, 260 or so. But what makes me feel extra good about that is it's definitely not focusing on the fact that I just dropped 10 pounds. But it is knowing that, just maybe, what was it, 8 months ago or so? Just about 8. I was just eating as much as I fucking possibly could to even reach 260. And now 260 is just a flat, decarbed up, a little flatter weight. So that is a good fucking sign for me. And that's kind of how it works, It's like something that used to be really tricky for you before, as long as you keep working at it, is now suddenly the new norm. So that's cool for me. That is cool for me to see the little numerical metrics. Makes me feel a little bit better about hopping on the scale a little lighter. But that's only going to be a problem for maybe the next kind of few weeks. Because once I actually start to get a bit more trim, then the leanness itself is going to be a new motivating factor. It's hard, right? Actually getting into calorie counting and really burning into your fat reserves, which is what dieting down is. It takes a little while, man. It's not instant, right? As much as we wish it was. So that first month, and depending on how far along of a journey you're going to have to do in terms of fat loss, it could be years. Results are slow, man, but they are tangible and fucking direct. So if that's your thing, you've got to be able to make do with the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be diced with abs this week or next week or the week after that or the week after that. But eventually that is what lies on the end of that kind of progression. So it's that's where you got to maybe dig deep, make sure the foods that you're eating actually make you feel full. I really do think counting your macros and your calories is an insane fucking hack, because I'm really getting the gist of it now because I've lived both sides of it. Obviously, not every calorie is the same as another one, right? Not, 50 grams of carbs of sweets is not immediately equivalent to 50 grams of carbs of rice. And I'm starting to get the gist of that now. But there is no getting around the fact that if you want to get leaner, you have to be in a calorie deficit, right? You actually have to be consuming less food than you're burning per day, so that you have to really dig into your body's energy reserves, which is your fat stores. So that's, not to get into it too much just sitting in the car, but look, ease into it. Start tracking your protein first. Get a food scale. Do not try to immediately start tracking absolutely everything, because that's just not going to work. For someone to not track anything, to suddenly feel like they have to be forced to make sure every calorie that they eat every day is accounted for, that is such an insane night and day flip. It's just impossible to maintain something like that. Whereas if you ease into it, right? If you just count your protein for a couple of months, or maybe you start trying to get into, tracking some fats and carbs, and, looking at the nutrition labels, getting a little mental count in your head of what you eat so far, you start plugging it into your phone a little bit, then before you know it, you're a goddamn dyed-in-the-wool macro tracker, and your performance in the gym is going to show it. But I, in no way would I recommend you immediately go 100% balls in OCD, track every gram of everything. But to work towards approaching something like that does have some serious potential gains for your gains, right? So that's my shtick there. And I think it's like taking the fucking red pill, man. Once you wake up and you look at a burger or something, and you're like, okay, 20 grams of protein, 25 of fats, 40 of carbs. You start to get a little bit of a deeper understanding of the food, and it sucks because nobody wants to do that, right? For the most part, nobody wants to look at food as numbers. It makes you feel bad. Right? It's nice to just look at a bowl of mac and cheese and say yum, instead of, okay, that's 140 grams of carbs, 30 grams of fats, 5 grams of protein, but it's like all wheat protein, so it's like barely going to contribute much to you. But I do think it's worth it. And anybody who I know where they started tracking everything, they started doing their calories, they started working on their training, trying to improve their shortcomings in terms of their form and stuff. It's like as soon as you do it for long enough where you realize, like, oh shit, this is actually improving my routine. I'm becoming a better lifter with more gains, and I know I'm going to be able to continue to make gains because I'm making these conscious choices towards everything gains related. Dude, before you know it, you're fucking yoked out of your mind, right? So that's my little shtick there. That is my little shtick there. Count your calories, goddammit. Right? If I were to get any kind of tattoo and, have something that actually means something for me, I could see PFC right here. Proteins, fats, carbs. Because I could stand behind that 100 fucking percent. So I'm not texting, I'm looking at my maps. I don't know where I'm going. I've never been to Vegas before, except for when I was a kid for a gymnastics meet. I was not driving at the time. I was like, I think I was like 14. But let's get in there, put all the stuff down, get warmed up, and see what kind of back day we can have on this very, very warm Thursday night. Oh. Oh my gosh, okay.
Got one more?
Yeah. One more. And I do not mind getting a little dirty at the end of it. The beginning, I want to be nice, controlled, and strong. But as I get more fatigued, I really think you can leverage your, a little body language within reason to increase your sense intensity. Now, of course, that's a fine line don't be a total schmuck and do some nasty reps for the whole set. But use your best judgment. Okay. All right. Let's do something else. Pull down, most likely. Okay. Oh gosh. This very well may be the finisher. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's good. All right. I lied. One more squeezing set just to get a couple more, I don't want to say liters, but a couple more ounces of blood in my back before the pose down. I thought I was having a good time in the goddamn torture gym posing room. Whoa. I mean, not to put anybody down, but I think they've got it a little fancier over here. Let's get this just a touch darker. And let's see what we're working with. And again, I've got this mirror up above me so I can see my own back. So if my shoulders are like this, I can actually fucking tweak it and adjust. So let's see how we're looking purely through the shirt itself. All right. That's some pretty damn decent width. Now let's, honestly, I kind of feel, well, let's see through the tank first. But might just have to lose the whole thing. Yeah, this is all coming off. Oh, jeez. I really can't get over the double mirror. That's, frankly, that should be a standard in all gyms. But let's make sure I'm right in the fanciest portion. I think right about here. Yeah. When you guys say get a haircut, you're right. This is too much. It's fucking covering up my traps. But what are you going to do? That'll be for later. Oh my goodness. So I'd say back is sufficiently fucking pumped up. Now my only responsibility, get back to the house, get some protein and some carbs into my system within reason. And don't forget, this dieting, even though this dieting session is only beginning, you still gotta stick to it a touch. I mean, there is a certain trap you get into. And maybe not you. Ideally, you are fucking killing it, but I mean other people. where it's like, yeah, I'm dieting. I'm starting to stay in a deficit, but then, it's just 90% of it, if not 95, maybe even 98% of it, honestly, with diet, it's all behind closed doors. Nobody's fucking observing you, right? It's like the goddamn quantum physics lifter experiment. It's like the lifter will eat differently and say different things when observed. But when not observed and left to his own devices, the lifter will open the cupboard and eat 500 calories of Cheez-Its in exactly 6 seconds. It's just not conducive with gains. So like I was saying in the car, if you ease into tracking slowly, I promise it will get easier. But let's get out of here. Now that is a pretty reasonable back day, if I do say so myself. So, I'm not joking though. That pull down machine, where it was like that lever action kind of thing, I don't see that in my gyms. It's a little more specialty item, but that one was cool. I really like. Honestly, out of all of them, that was the nicest. But don't forget, it's not there's no one trick pony of movements, right? Trying a new piece of equipment or a new pull down or a new squat and leg press, like, it's cool. It's sometimes it can really make a fucking workout, but it shouldn't break one if you've only got access to basic stuff. And I don't think this is a highly fucking contested point, but don't forget, you can have an insane fucking back day with just dumbbells, a barbell, and like, I don't even want to say cables, because you could just do a pull-up. Now, if I've got access to a pull-down, I think I'd prefer to sit on a pull-down and spam those, but there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with a regular street fucking workout, right? If I was really strapped, I could have a solid back bump just by, doing a variety of self-assisted pull-ups and whatever else. But I am definitely tired. So this is day 4 of being in a deficit from being bulked up beforehand. Not that bad, because again, only 4 days deep. I'm not really feeling the thick of the deficit yet. I will, and it will become more of a chore to stay under the calorie limits that I'm aiming for. But for these first couple of days, honestly, these first couple of weeks, pounds off my body in terms of body fat will be no issue. No issue whatsoever. So I better just make use of the ease of, well, lack thereof of calories. But what was I about to say? I was going to get into a whole shtick there. Fuck, did you made me totally forget. What was I? Calories? Back day workout? I can't fucking remember. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, so yesterday after chest, after I got back to the the Airbnb and I was sitting down, even just like sitting on the couch, I could tell I was getting a little what is it, hypoglycemic, having low blood sugar from having finished a big fucking workout without really not much of a massive pre-workout meal, and then just coming down with no food in my system. I fucking slammed the this leftover Subway sandwich that I had from the night before, plus a Gatorade, and ended up feeling a little bit better. But that's something where I think I'm not really in the dieting zone just yet, because I'm still in a way used to like a massive fucking calorie intake. So until that kind of subsides, I may, my calorie intake is going to kind of fluctuate just a touch. But, dude, holy crap, man. I think, man, I totally had like the full minute at least speech ready in my mind. But as soon as I fucking finished the lift and got in the car, now I'm sleepy. Now I am feeling a touch sleepy. But, well, what's up with you, man? Depending on your age demographic, I've got there's a couple of you. I'm sure I might reference, I'll actually probably reference you specifically. Right, so let's see. Mid-October, some of you guys must be having your couple days off of fall break. Am I correct? Hopefully, you didn't get an essay or a project over those couple of days of a break, and you get to actually enjoy a little bit of free time off. That's where I would say maybe don't spend all 8 hours on Fortnite and Discord and listening to the new KSI song and having the Talk to a podcast playing at the same time. It's probably not your best interest, right? Maybe tag along with your older brother or your dad or something, go to the gym, have a solid workout, and then come back and do all that stuff. It's I've got a little bit of a shtick where I'm talking about dogging on guys when they're fucking gaming, and it's not about just sitting for like 3 hours on your computer playing games. The only issue I've really got is like these guys aren't doing anything else, and I've seen it. I've seen it. Fucking the same dudes in the same Discord chat talking for the same or talking over the same bullshit about how their main character got nerfed. Come on, I don't get behind it. Just a little bit of a distractor. So that's my little tip for you. Maybe back off on clocking as many hours on Steam as you are right now. But if you're a little bit of an older character, let's say you're actually a reasonably older character and you got little chitlins of your own, dude, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, I think I was in the sweet spot when it comes to exposure to technology. Like, I think it totally wrecked my brain compared to like an ideal situation of upbringing. But I wasn't 3 with an iPod and an iPhone scrolling at the exact same time. I was it was kind of crazy. I saw a mom at the airport with 2 kids, and each of them had a backpack full of notebooks, coloring books, like little games like that, actual physical things. If she, I'm sure she'd probably know. Well, no, she doesn't. I don't think she'd recognize me. There is a strong 4% female lifter demographic, but I don't think she was in it. But that was insane. That was like something I do not see all the fucking time. So now I'm just getting into a crazy fucking ramble about whatever. Oh my goodness. So how about we finish with some? I know I said I wouldn't do it, but now I want to. How about we finish this with some Olympia predictions? We can start with open. Frankly, I think Samson looks more insane than he ever fucking has. So I'm putting him up there in that top 3. Derek, still a freak as always. He's definitely a solid top 3 contender. And I think Hottie is also up there. But you gotta remember, all these guys are insane fucking freaks. And if you've only seen them on your phone, it's insane. It's I mean, you're looking at guys where their arm is as big as your leg is. It's just fucking nuts. But I think, but apart from that, we'll just kind of have to wait and fucking find out. Classic, though, I mean, I can guarantee a top 4 is looking like Chris, Ramon, and Dino. But the exact placements, I mean, there's still a couple of days before their actual finals night happens. But it's the bodybuilding side of things, there is a certain allure and idolization of that end goal of these guys competing, and they're showing off. But in a sense, it's not like a competition of the day. It's simply who has put in the most work outside of the gym and managed to optimize everything else about their routine to build a fucking build that's fucking insane enough to be competitive, right? And these guys are fucking professionals. They have no problem dialing in getting lean. Like, that's for something like the Olympia, that's a prerequisite. So it's you got to remember, it's as crazy as it is, and how many eyes are on these guys, and it's like, this is the battle. Dude, the battle already happened. The battle happened all year long when these guys were working out and actually building the gains that they're now getting to show off. So there's a certain long-term mentality and approach to the lifting side of things, which I think can be very easily motivated and inspired by looking at these top 0.01% dudes, because the basic framework never changes. The basic framework of the high school kid who wants to get into working out is not that much fucking different than the Olympia competitor who's at the goddamn top of his class year after year after year, like returning champion level guys. Because they're all focusing on their diet, they're all going to the same gym, lifting the same basic kind of weights, they're all getting amped up and kind of like hyped when they're doing those sets. They go back and chill, and then they just repeat the process. So that's like, don't forget, man, the dumbbells I'm picking up in all these videos, they're the same ones you guys are using, right? Now I don't but usually I'm thinking about that the other way around, right? Like, even when I was a younger dude, and I think it's probably a combination of optimism and delusion, maybe just a touch. But even coming up, I had no real, like, I guess jealousy is probably the right word, of anybody who is like leaps and bounds ahead of me, like real bodybuilding. Because for whatever reason, I think I could like grasp the fact that, oh yeah, I'm 16 years old. That guy's 30. That guy's been working out for 10 years using like legit bodybuilding substances as well. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't compare these two states of being, right? I mean, it's, so keep in mind, like, be a little bit objective when you make these kind of comparisons. But I'm not joking, man. It's if you get into an idea, or you get into like a mindset where you're thinking about where you're going to be 2 years from now, where even just 6 months is a pretty long term timeline compared to the average dude. So if you can lock into something for 6 months, a 6 month period can make you unrecognizable. A 6 months period of real locked in, like a real deficit, a real fat loss transformation, or a real bulking phase, actually kind of beefing yourself up, dude, it is insane. But you don't get that like shock factor, like, oh my god, you're so much bigger since the last time I saw you, until the end of it. So it's that's what separates us from the animals, man. We can comprehend delayed gratification, right? So it's sort of a, well, you get the gist, right? Now I'm devolving into just the most basic motivational whatever else. I'm ready to get some food. I'm ready to go to sleep, and I'm probably ready to fucking lay out in the sun tomorrow. It's getting cold back in Ohio, so I better make use of this heat. It's gonna be like 95, so maybe I'll just try not to get sunburned. But tomorrow's lift, arms. Arms is a good one. Arms is kind of a classic one. I'm not going to have any trouble having a good arm workout, no matter what gym I go to. Because, I mean, it's like, do you have cables? Do you have dumbbells? Sounds like I have a good arm day. But that fucking simple. So I'm going to make my way through this 400 lane highway, and then get back to the house, eat, and I will see you tomorrow. And Mark just arrived too. I think I'm gonna tag along with them on one of their golf outings, so we might see a little Sam out of his natural habitat. But that'll be for at least tomorrow, potentially a couple other days. But until then, make sure you're doing your cardio. Oh, you haven't heard me say that for a little while. I know you have not been doing it, John. Yeah, you, John Davis. You right there. I know you haven't been doing your cardio. And guess what? I hope you comment that I called you out and your username is that name, because frankly, you deserve to be flamed. Right? I know you've got 30 minutes on your day that you can spend on the seat of bike. The only thing I don't know is why you don't do it. But that's not, not my body fat, not my problem. But it would put a smile on my face if I knew you were clocking in your cardio hours. So take with that information what you will, and I'll see you guys for arms tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure I get a good night's rest in between.